new complaints from parents in Hamilton Southeastern schools. They claim the district discriminated against their children and retaliated against the families who decided to speak up.
The parents say HSE failed to provide certain services to their kids and say the district violated federal law. WRTV Investigates Kenney spoke with parents and reviewed the complaints.
So Kara joins us now with why families say legal action is their last resort.
Federal law requires schools to provide students with disabilities an education and also follow their individualized education plan, or IEP. Two HSE parents filed complaints this week alleging this school district is in violation of federal law.
10-year-old Maddox O'Connor made headlines back in May for his mission to help the homeless with blessing bags, even catching the attention of IMPD.
Makes them think that somebody loves them.
Now it's Maddox's mother who is on a mission.
He needs an education. He deserves an education.
Maddox has a rare form of muscular dystrophy called mitochondrial disease.
He requires a lot of care during the day. His body can't regulate itself.
His mother, SHAWN, explains Maddox's needs are so extensive, he needs a private nurse with him one-on-one, at home and at school, Fall Creek Intermediate. SHAWN says HSE has been reluctant to provide Maddox with a one-on-one nurse.
It presents more of a safety concern than anything.
No nurse at school means Maddox is at home instead. He's been in class only 7 days this school year.
What is that like as a mom?
That is the most heartbreaking thing in the world, because I sit here many nights while he cries himself to sleep because he has no friends and he just wants to go to school.
When Maddox is home, SHAWN claims HSE has regularly not provided him with a homebound teacher.
You can't not provide him with a nurse to go to school, but then have him stay home for weeks and weeks at a time and not provide a homebound teacher either.
Concerned, SHAWN told the district she planned to file a formal complaint and says HSE's executive director of exceptional learners threatened to cancel Maddox's nursing contract. The allegation of retaliation is outlined in SHAWN's complaints filed this month with the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights and the Indiana Department of Education. SHAWN's attorney, Tom Blessing.
It's violating federal law. There's a power imbalance between schools and parents. And let's face it, the schools have the power.
When asked about the retaliation allegation, HSE told us, we strive to work with our students and their families to ensure compliance with all laws and appropriately respond to any changes or developments. Divulging more details on this matter could violate the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Tom Blessing explains schools receive federal funding to provide services to students that have disabilities, like Maddox. Blessing also represents another mom, ERIN, who filed a complaint this month with the federal government, also accusing HSE of retaliation and discrimination. Dague says HSE failed to follow her son Dylan's IEP in several ways.
And then they end the school day with putting a face mask on him that he's not allowed to wear because he has a respiratory condition. He has a face shield accommodation in his health care plan at school in his IEP.
Dague told the district they plan to involve their attorney, and she claims that same day the Department of Child Services knocked on her door, saying a report had been made alleging Dylan was dirty. Her complaint alleges the school called DCS.
This is not a game. Like, this is my family. We get the wrong social worker and we could have a ton of issues. Like, that is scary.
Dague believes the school called DCS a second time after she went on Facebook to help HSE families navigate dyslexia testing.
There's just this like intimidation and retaliation and blackmailing that's going on in our family by HSE schools over us just asking for our son to be treated properly and assisting other families with fair and appropriate education.
The Department of Child Services cannot legally tell us the outcomes of investigations, including the Dagues, nor can they tell us who called about Dylan. The agency says information related to a DCS case, including the identity of the report source, is confidential and released only to those individuals permitted access by statute. This is Indiana law. We asked HSE if they reported Dylan to DCS, and a spokesperson told us employees are required by Indiana code to immediately report any suspicion of child abuse or neglect to the Department of Child Services. All employees are trained yearly on the reporting process. Divulging more details on this matter could violate the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Maddox's contract for his home nurse is still in place. It wasn't canceled, and the family's insurance pays when he's at home. His mom is urging HSE to provide him with a nurse at school and a homebound teacher for when he's home.
Mitochondrial disease has taken so much from Maddox. It wasn't supposed to be able to take his education. There are supposed to be laws in place to protect him so that he doesn't have to give that up too. And it's heartbreaking because he doesn't deserve that.
SHAWN is asking the Indiana Department of Education to hold a hearing in Maddox's case, but because the complaint was just filed October 15th, no hearing date has been set. Working for you, Kenney, WRTV.
And Kara's still working on the story. She reached out to Hamilton Southeastern Schools. They sent us a statement which in part reads, "We comply with all state and federal laws to accommodate those with educational needs. An individual education plan, IEP, is developed in collaboration with families via a case conference to meet the needs of each student." The district says it has not yet received any notification from the Federal Office for Civil Rights. If the said complaints are subject to further processing by the OCR, we will fully cooperate with any investigation and provide more feedback regarding the allegations after we have time to process the details.